everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome, welcome. Get yourself in here, get settled. We're going to we're going to have a good old talk about being indecisive. So come on in, grab your cup, let's take a sip. Let us start with a quote from Coffee with Colby, right? All right, here we go. Here's our quote for the day. We see times when you are feeling alone and lonely, when you experience a sadness that is deep within and unexplainable. We see your sense of loss. We encourage you to go deep within to your soul to remember the experience prior to the physical realm and allow those imprints of love and connection you once felt to embrace you. Your soul remembers the unconditional love and support from us. So there you go. That's your Coffee with Colby for today. Make sure you grab your book. You got to start with the new year, right? So grab your book. You can read a quote a day. Look at this. There's a quote a day for you. Okay? All right. So let's get settled in. Let's talk about being indecisive. All right? Because when you're indecisive, it absolutely 100% will hold you back. And sometimes you're like, well, I'm not sure. And you weigh it back and forth, right? And you're waiting for that answer. But in order to have an answer, you really have to kind of just make that decision based on your intuition. So when your intuition is cloudy and foggy, it's going to be difficult to make a decision because you're then trying to make it from your mind, right? You're trying to make it from your ego place and not your heart space. So when you separate the two and only work from that heart space is that intuition, okay? So when you're working from there, the decision will be there. But what happens is you don't want to make a mistake, or you don't want to make the wrong decision, or you're afraid you'll regret that decision. You won't regret it if it's absolutely coming from your intuition. Okay, so working from the intuition will always be your truth, will always be the right answer. I'm not saying it's the easy answer, but it's the right answer. What makes us unable to make a decision? Okay, so sometimes that inability is because of stress. So again, you're stressed out and you're wanting to see the end result before making a decision. You want to know what that end result is. Well, guess what? It doesn't always happen. Sometimes you have to make that decision first, then you see how that decision unfolds. But again, if you are working from your intuition, all right, from that clairsentient space, that decision will always be right. No matter what, it will be right. It might take time to see it. It may take time for it to come through, but it will be there for you. A lot of times you may be worried about hurting someone else, so you don't want to make a decision, right? You don't want to hurt someone else in your decision making. We are unable to be responsible for somebody else's feelings. We can be compassionate and we can be empathetic, as we should be. We can be kind, as we should be. But you can't protect someone else's feelings and emotions. That's their responsibility. That's for them. So you can work with the highest good, all right? You can come from the best heart space you can. But I can't protect you from hurting your feelings. I can't protect you because I don't know what your triggers are. I don't know what your experience is. But if I'm coming from my most sincere and authentic clairsentient space, okay, then I absolutely am coming from the best possible space that I can. And that's what we want from one another. Wouldn't you want your partner, let's say it's a relationship or it's your job, okay? You want to leave your job. If you're coming from your most authentic space, then your job can't hold that against you. That decision can't be held against you. You're living in your truth. So are you in alignment? Now that's our next thing. Are you in alignment? Because if you're out of alignment, okay, if you're out of alignment, you're also going to have trouble making a decision. So we have so much going on in our day. We have so many things that we pile on top of one another. And again, we create that stress. Okay? You put that stress on you. You got to start alleviating that. Start pulling those layers away. Start getting back in alignment with your soul, with your higher self. Then your intuition will be super strong. It's going to be absolutely in alignment. It's going to be powerful. Any decision made from that space will be pure and in your highest good. I promise you. Okay? I promise. But it's getting yourself to that space. How do you do that? One is through silence. If you sit there and keep running these thoughts through your head over and over and over and over, you're actually not in that higher self space. You're in the ego space. Okay? What if I make a mistake? What if I'm wrong? What if they're upset at me? What if we can't be friends? What if I quit this job and can't get another? What if I get out of this relationship and there's no one else for me? Or I give up my opportunity for what I want? What if I can't move because I'm afraid? The indecisiveness will paralyze you, will absolutely handcuff and paralyze you. You're not meant to be paralyzed. You're not meant to be still. You are movement. You are like water. What is it? 90% of our body is water, something like that, right? You are meant for movement. The water does not stay still in the ocean, right? You are not meant to be still. You are not meant to be stale. You're not meant to settle because you're afraid of hurting someone else. Okay? You have to be responsible for yourself and for your happiness and for your decision making. Okay? You're only going to learn and grow from that decision. The more you stand in your power, so the more you're in alignment, okay? The more you're in alignment, all right? Then the more you're connected to your higher self. All right? That higher self is your all knowing self. We all agree, right? We all know that. Okay? So, how can your all knowing self not know the decision? It does. It does. But it's your fear on repercussions. It's your fear of the unknown factors after making that decision that may thwart or halt your decision making. Got to move past that. You got to move past your fear. You got to move past the worry. You got to move past the ego. Oh my gosh, that ego is going to just be the death of us, isn't it? And it is hard work when you're getting out of something, when you're making a change. It's hard work. It's hard work to come to terms with it. It's hard work to sit with that decision. It's hard work to pack up and move your stuff out, or give that pink slip to the office, or change your diet habits, whatever that is for you, whether it's health, financial, career, relationships, okay? So when we have the courage, okay, it's the courage to say, I'm going to listen to my intuition. I'm going to clear those cobwebs. I'm going to clear the negative thoughts. I'm going to clear the worry. I'm just going to sit with it. I'm just going to sit with it. And when I sit with it, I'm going to trust where I'm led, where that decision leads me. So the decision should never come from fear. All right? Don't ever let your decision come from a place of fear. Where does fear lay? In the ego. Okay, fear is not in the higher self. That higher self is peaceful, loving, nurturing, and all-knowing. It's all positive. Fear comes from the ego. Okay? So when you make a decision from fear, automatically it's going to be the wrong decision. 100% always the wrong decision. Okay? So your decision can be made in an unknowing state. It can be made out of uncertainty as to the outcome of when you make it, but it will always be in the pure state if it's coming from your higher self. And that's really, again, where we're always striving to make our decisions, especially those hard decisions. Those hard decisions where you're worried about backlash and you're worried about what someone's going to say. You're worried about threats. How many people decide to end their marriage and they're afraid, or they stay in the marriage because they're afraid of custody battles, or they're afraid of financial means, or they're afraid of what their spouse will do. Those are not the reasons to stay in your marriage, right? Or any relationship, okay? that comes from a place of fear is not where we want to reside. Okay? That fear, if you start making decisions from you all have done it. I mean, come on. Every single one of you at some point in your life has made a decision from fear. Was it right? No. Right? Did you make it and go, oh, that feels good? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. But how many times, if you have made a decision, you were afraid to make it, it was a hard decision, you didn't know the outcome, you didn't know if you were ready, you didn't know if you were going to get through it, and you did, and you succeeded. That's where I want you to make your decisions from this point forward. You've got 2021. Do you know how many decisions you're going to have this year? You're going to have a lot. You're going to have a ton of decisions to make. Let's start today. Start today with making decisions that come from your intuition and your higher self. Make decisions that, although they are hard to make, you're going to stand in your truth. Okay? You're going to stand in your truth with it. All right? You're going to learn to develop your gifts if you're an intuitive. You're going to say, I'm not afraid of what other people think. I'm not afraid of my friends leaving me. If your friends leave you because you're intuitive, because you want to share your gift, they're not even your friends. What do you care? They could even be your family. But really, what kind of family isn't supportive? All right? We have enough, there is enough negativity in this world at the moment. You do not need it in your circle. All right? So if there's that circle giving you negativity about you living in your truth and you making decisions, let's find a new circle. Let's make that our first decision for 2021, right? So anyhow, that is your Coffee with Colby for today. I want you to get out there, alleviate the stress you are associating with your decision making, alleviate the fear of being wrong, alleviate the responsibility for someone else's feelings and emotions and responses. Be responsible for yourself. Work from a kind and loving space. Be empathetic and compassionate. Work from your heart space. Listen to your intuition. And guess what? You're going to be on track 100% of the time. 100% of the time. How incredible is that? How incredible, right? All right. So, lot happening this Thursday night. It's a date night. Now, the next couple of weeks, I have some very special guests coming on. So if you want a date night, you got to join me this Thursday. You don't want to miss out, okay? Because the next 2 weeks are going to be spectacular with guests. But this Thursday night, Colby Rebel Show, 5 p.m. You can watch me right here. You can also subscribe. So if you're going for your walk for the day, or you're going to the gym, or you're driving in the car, you can listen to the show. You can listen to the Coffee with Colby's. They're all right there on Simplecast, Apple, iTunes, all of that fun stuff. So lots of love to you. I do hope this helped. Remember to shine your light and shine it bright. Feel free to share. If this impacted you today, if you got a positive message, share it. Let's get it out there. Let's start helping people make better decisions. All right, lots of love to you. Have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you later.